Very quickly, here's how to cheat and make any website or template into a Business Catalyst template. It's very, very, very simple. Just to get you off the ground, to get things moving, to get things working. This is what we do. Here's our website or template. Maybe you've brought a template. Maybe you've brought a Bootstrap template, for example, for 20 bucks and something like that, and now you want to use it with Business Catalyst. So let's just take you through the first thing to do. Let's imagine that this is our template that you guys want to convert. We're going to use the Russian doll analogy or metaphor in concept when we're dealing with templates in Business Catalyst. So we have the outer shell, the outer doll, with smaller dolls getting inner and inside it. And that's with regards to things like content holders in Business Catalyst, which we'll go into in part 2 or session 2 of these tutorials. Right now, all we want to do is we're going to keep the header and the footer in this template, and everything else is going to be loaded by the page, all the different pages that we make in Business Catalyst. So it's really this simple. If we just load up the current template, current page that I'm loading, sorry. In fact, I want to do this in develop mode. Now, just to speak about this quickly, within Business Catalyst, I really much prefer to always try and work within the develop tab. Because everything under manage, sorry, my internet's a bit slow, I shouldn't be clicking around. Everything in manage, if you edit a page template here, even on HTML mode, and you save that, sometimes and quite often I find the code gets rewritten, gets changed by Business Catalyst. So I like to try and work from the develop tab, which is a more developer coder version of what we're looking at. So let's just dive into my existing template, and that's the single piece of code that we're going to be working with today. So it's tag page content, and that's just going to tell Business Catalyst, wherever we put that, it's going to load any content from a page that we write, that we create. So anything under site, manager, then pages, any page that we create here, it's going to load that into our template. So therefore all we have to do is, let's come across to our template files. I'm just going to bang this open with Sublime Text, which is a nice free editor. If some of you don't have Dreamweaver or something like this, Sublime Text, highly recommend that. I'll put a link in the description. Now we have our header. This is all the menus and everything like that. And all I'm looking for is actually the end of the header, which is going to be there in my case. That's wrong. There's the end of the header, sorry, there. So I'm literally going to delete everything out all the way down to where the footer begins. Here's all my footer links. Where am I? Sorry, I've gone up too high. This is the footer. Here's the beginning of the footer. My template's coded nicely. They've actually used HTML5 tags, footer, section, and things like that. I'm going to delete out all of that. So now it goes straight from the header to the footer, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to put in that bit of code. Okay? It's that simple. Now if we save this page as a template for Business Catalyst, you might want to check out my previous video on absolute and relative URLs, because some of these links and URLs won't load if you now save this into your template folder in Business Catalyst. So you are either going to want to do a relative URL, something like that, or you're going to want to put in the absolute URL of your website. Oops, sorry. Whatever your domain.com is, /. But go and watch my other video which will explain that. I just wanted to quickly explain to you guys, if you now save this as a template, or you copy and paste all of this into a page template in Business Catalyst, and you now save that out, you're now done. You've now got a template, and when you now go to create a page, add a page, you'll now be able to choose it from the list of templates. And now when you now go and create your new page, now this is going to look pretty messed up because there's other parts. It's not centered, but here, this is the result. This is what you now have. You now have your header and your footer. And now I'm actually using sections with classes here, which is why that my text stuck all the way on the left. It's just the way that I've particularly designed this. Everything is modular, and I'll show you what I mean. If I now grab this whole section, I can just copy that HTML just as a very, very quick example. Okay, let's now preview. Bang. So I've just created this new page. This is a new page. This is my, yeah, it's called new page. And it's now got my template that I just created in 20 seconds. That is the fundamentals of how to convert any website or any HTML file that you've got into a Business Catalyst working template. That's the basics. Okay. Next, in part 2, you're going to now see more to do with how to actually work with the header and the footer better, and how to use content containers. Let's imagine on this page I now have an image over here on the right, and it's of a bunch of logos, and I want those bunch of logos to be on lots and lots of different pages. I'm going to go use a content container. That's what it's called in Business Catalyst. It basically allows you to create another file, put in those logos, and then wherever you want, you can just insert that content container onto any page or any template or anything like that. But check out part 2, that will describe that. The core fundamentals of creating a template are simply what we just did. Finding and stripping out everything in the middle of the page. So you're going to leave the header and all the top body header tags, and you're going to leave all the footer and everything else there, and you're just going to dump in that one bit of code, which was page content. I'll just show you that again. Let's just load up one of these. So here we go. It's just that there, page content. Okay, where was it in Sublime? Here we go. So tag page content. Now what I've actually done is I've already gone to the next stages. I've now stripped out the header, created a content container, and then I've done the same with footer. So actually my templates now actually look like this. All of this text that you can see here, all of this code, and now I have three external pulls from 3 different areas. I've got my header, which is a content container. I'm using the default Business Catalyst tag called tag page content, and then the bottom one for the footer. And then I'm leaving a whole bunch of other stuff as not generic. And so everything that's in here are generic. They're reused. Think Russian dolls, where you're going to reuse them over and over again. But if there's something that needs to be unique for that page template, then you need to leave it in there. And so a really nice example of what I've done is I've created audio on some of my, you can see that there's a little audio icon up here. I've created audio on my home page, but if you go to the blog, the audio stops playing. It's disappeared. There we go. Okay, so that means I've got different templates. So actually what I've done is I've inserted the audio file to load at the bottom of another template down the bottom. So that allows me to now have different things happening on different templates. Maybe I want a white header on some pages and a dark on others, right? That means that it's not generic. Something then needs to change. That means you're going to have maybe two different headers. But maybe all your menu links are going to stay the same. So that means you could use a content container or the built-in Business Catalyst menu system to do that. But anyway, We're going to go through all of that stuff later on because it might just all sound fancy, but actually it has a core reason for doing this, and it makes our lives easier. If we have 10 different templates and we've just inserted all of the links every time into each template, for example, now we want to change one of the links, we're going to have to go do it 10 times. If we want to change a color or something like this, we're going to have to go do it 10 times. And so the story unfolds. And so if we just have one content holder, or one template even, then we're actually saving ourselves a lot of time. Because you could come in here and take your page code. This is the HTML package that you've brought, right, off Bootstrap or something like this, ThemeForest, whatever. You could just copy all of this code and you could just put it in a page. You could just insert it in a page here in Business Catalyst. And you could do that for every single page and your website would work. And your website would function fine. You could go and do that. You've technically got yourself a Business Catalyst website. You can still go and insert forms wherever you want. You can still use other functionality that's happening in Business Catalyst. But let's say you've got 100 pages over the course of the next couple of months. And then you want to go change a link. You're going to have to go and edit every single page. You know, this is why CSS was invented. Because people were sick of having to write the font styling 1,000 times because they had complex tables. They were using TDTRs, tables to build up their pages in HTML. So someone invented an easier way, a way of cheating. And this is what famous mathematicians are famous for, being lazy or trying to find a shortcut that often brings an evolution to thinking and to optimizing a way that we do things. And so the same is true here now. We want to use the Russian doll concept, thinking big picture, getting more and more granular as we go in. So the principle stands, anything that repeats, you just want to create a container for it, or use a template. Anything that's going to be unique, you want to leave alone. You want to leave it outside in a bigger doll, because maybe you've got lots of different Russian dolls all over the place. Okay? So that's the core fundamentals. Check out the second video for more to do with these other parts. Thank you. Alright, let's make a template. Business Catalyst style, man. Hear me now. So super simple. You want to make a template for Business Catalyst that works. That's fine. So you go and buy a template. Maybe you go and grab something from Bootstrap or ThemeForest or something like this. So you've got all your pages, you've got all your template files, you've got everything like that. How do you convert it to work with Business Catalyst? Well, you could just copy and paste all the code and put it systematically into every single page, right? You could do that. You could have 20 pages. You could just copy and paste the full code into every single page under the HTML tab, and you could just then customize it and change it, right? For every single page. Technically, that would work, right? That's going to work. The problem you've got is you might be able to insert like newsletters, sign-up forms, and things like this. So you're still able to utilize the functionality of Business Catalyst, but actually the problem you've got is, say you've got 20 pages and you've just pasted the whole code into every single page, then you want to change one of these links. Well, you're going to have to do it on every single page. That's going to suck. That's going to hog down your time. And that's really negative. That's going to really have a big impact. So let's just start very simple, right? We just want the header and the footer in our template. Everything else in the middle, so all of this video and everything below it and everything above the footer, we're going to load in every page individually with every new page that we create in Business Catalyst. So look, I'm not going to muck around. All you do is I highly recommend Sublime. This is called Sublime Text Editor. It's free, it's awesome, it's kick-ass. If you don't want to splodge out on things like Dreamweaver or whatever, Sublime's kick-ass. So look, all we're going to look for, there's where my header ends, right? And I've got to be careful because the footer begins higher than you think on this template. There's a lot of bottom links. We're still in some header. Footer begins here. So all of that, delete. In fact, if it was you, you're going to be wanting to copy that code that I've just deleted and put it somewhere else. Ding! Done. Now you've got a template that works in Business Catalyst. It's that simple. All right? So you've got your squiggly bracket, tag, underscore, page content, close your squiggly brackets. Done. That's all you need to do. If you now save that as a template in Business Catalyst, and all you need to do that is just copy all the code. In fact, you are better off doing this via FTP. I'll tell you why in a second. If you then come into page templates, if you then did add page, you then do this here. In fact, it's already put that little bit of code for you there. But you could then paste all that code in here. Save that, tutorial, template, all right, publish, done. You've now got yourself a kick-ass template that works. But actually, it's not going to work just yet. Well, mine does, but yours probably won't, and I'll tell you why. Because all the links to all the files won't load. Oops, Sublime's gone a bit crazy on me. So all of these little links here, if you don't know what they are, these are just external files which your template is trying to load. And effectively, the template in Business Catalyst is held on a folder on the server called templates. So effectively, you've moved the file. So now it can't find those other files that it needs. So all you have to do is you now just have to reference that. And the easiest way to do that is just to use what's called an absolute URL. An absolute URL means there's absolutely no chance that it can't find what it's looking for. So mine would be that. That's the full domain name, and you're just going to insert that in the front of all of these files. Images, JavaScript files, anything with an URL, and you can do a sneaky find and replace if you want to get a bit more advanced and do that. Up here, look, there's the CSS file. I can do the same here. That will now load. Recopy that file back into Business Catalyst. Bang, that's going to work. So all we've done is we've deleted everything out in the middle. We've kept the header and the footer, and then used that one sneaky tagline, which is called page content. Tag page content. I can now come in here and create pages. Create a new page. When you now create a new page here, you just have to choose the template from here. Tutorial template, right? Save the page, you're done. You're now using it. Now the content will appear here instead, okay? Or over here, depending on how your template's made. That's it, that's the fundamentals. You can take any page, any template that you've brought, anything, and just by making sure that you update those URLs, usually in the header section, maybe there's a few sneaky ones down the footer as well. Update all those URLs so that they're no longer relative, make them absolute, or do correct them so they're relative. You could do ... for example. That might get you into a better position. Don't forget, you're going to need to upload those files as well to the server, and you can do that through the developer section or through FTP, because all of those files that we just re-referenced, right? All of these ones here, well, you need to upload them all to the server as well. So go and find them in your template folder. Go and upload them to the correct place on the server. You can just, if you don't know how to use FTP yet and things like that, you can always come under the developer tab, develop in Business Catalyst. Wait for that to load. My net connection is very slow. I'm sorry. And you can always now just start creating folders here and uploading files here. You can do multiple files at a time using this upload menu on the left. This is actually good, and I'll tell you what, I actually always try to work from the develop section because it's code only, and Business Catalyst will never try to change your code or optimize it for you. If you're on the main manage section and you're editing a template and you've got some audio file that you're loading, just like I have, Business Catalyst will actually strip out some of the code because it thinks it's doing you a favor. So this is from this view. This is the what you see is what you get editor. That's what that's called. And you can switch it to HTML view, which you might think is then a safe way to work, but actually when you save it, it's actually going to undo what you've done. Alright, so that's why I like to actually work in the develop tab all the time. So if you remember, this is a 20-minute video, but actually all we did was strip out all of the middle crap and just put page content in its position. Now I've now gone another level with my template. I've now stripped out the header and the footer and created what's called a content holder in Business Catalyst. That's going to allow me to have lots of different template files, but to always have one file somewhere else that I can change, so that I only have to update a menu item once, and it will update across all the different template files that I've got. And I'll explain that in the second part. There's a part 2 of this video called Content Holders. Go and check that out if you want to learn how to go that far with your template. Fundamentally, you just want a template to work properly in Business Catalyst so that you can create pages, strip out the middle section, and just put that one tag in there. Okay, once you feel comfortable with that, go and look up Business Catalyst tag references. Business Catalyst, let's just type in tags to Google, and here we go, tags quick reference. Now here's all the tags that you can use, right? And in fact, let's open this up. Page templates. Alright, so you can use page title and page content on a template, but look at all these other tags you can use. Now you have to use them within their right modules, which we'll talk about later, but these are essentially how Business Catalyst has their system, how things work. You need to understand that you can come and grab any of these little tags and they will show something really cool. Like look, if we want to show, if someone's logged into your website, we could show their username on the page. Now that's not technically correct, I'm just using it as a hypothetical, but that's just an example. If we threw that tag now into our template, you'd see the username appear, things like this, right? So that's it. We'll keep it there for now. It really is that simple. As long as you understand about your URLs and the external files, you need to then go and upload all your files, throw in that page content file, and bang, you've now got a Business Catalyst template. Don't forget, if you really want to try and cheat, when you first create your site in Business Catalyst, you can attempt to use the import from URL functionality, and that allows you, when you're first setting up your website in Business Catalyst, you can type in your existing website and it will try to import and convert your website to a Business Catalyst friendly version. Do be warned, that doesn't always work. There is no magic switch that's going to work for everything, but they have developed it so it does work quite nicely with WordPress. If you've got a current website that's using WordPress, just use the import functionality, type in the URL that's currently live, wherever it is, and it's going to download every single page individually and actually strip out all of the template and the sneaky way that WordPress is built up, because WordPress actually loads its content from a MySQL database externally from the template files. And so Business Catalyst effectively flattens everything. It effectively flattens the entire WordPress site and then just imports every single page that's there and makes them more static. Okay, so it does work quite well. So you can also try this if you're feeling lazy, but the cleaner way would be go out and build yourself a basic template, build a basic site, grab a framework like Bootstrap, strip its core out, just like we did, strip out all the page content, put page content tag in there, and then upload all the files which are necessary to make the template work, re-reference them in the header section, and everything will work, fingers crossed. Any questions or problems, leave a message and I'll try to help you guys.